Have you ever wondered how to combine a bar chart and a line chart and they overlap? Well, I'm going to show you. So that is sometimes called a combo chart, and it's super easy to build in Tableau. We need two measures. So we're going to start with sales. By the way, this data set's available, so check the description below. And I want to overlap profit on top of that. So I'm going to bring profit in. Now, you do have to, when you have a measure already in there, you want to drop this one in here. If you double click, Tableau's going to think you want to do a scatter plot. Okay, and you can see right there, there's immediately a dot there. And if you can't see it, let me just show you. There it is. Because what it's doing is it's trying to match this aggregate value with this one. So we don't want to do that. Okay. So what we want to do, let me get back to here. We always want to do, if we have two sets of measures that we want to stack, we want to bring it into rows, like so. So now we have one on top of the other. Okay. Now we want to extend this over a period of time, though it's not restricted to a time-based horizontal axis. So I'm going to use order date, and I'm going to use the right-click drag method. Maybe you can see my hand go focus there. That one right there. And I'm going to right-click, drag into columns. And when I do that, it brings up the dialog box. Now, this is the standard way of me doing it. The alternative is you can always just double-click order date, and it'll bring it in. But we actually want this to be shown as a continuous representation in this example. So I'm going to right-click here, and we want to see it by quarter. So this is the one I'm interested in. And now we can see it over time. So far, so good. Now, I can show the analysis like this, but a lot of the times we want them to overlap because we may want to compare one value to another for a specific point. So we want to change this one on the top to, let's say, a bar, and this one we can leave as a line. Okay, so I'm going to go here to this first one. This one represents the formatting for this one. Okay. So we're going to change that. I'm going to switch this to a bar, like so. We're going to make it a little bit narrower. So if I click here on size, I'm going to go manual, and I'm just going to tweak this until I'm kind of happy with that. I don't want those really thick bars, okay? Even if you max this out, it's fine. Okay, so that's the first set of formatting. For the second one, which is here, this one represents this one, which represents this one. Now, whenever I do a dual axis function, which you're going to see in a second, what it does is it overlaps the two sets of measures. If this is set to automatic, Tableau may change it depending on what it thinks it's best. So it's a good idea to explicitly say line for this. Okay, you can see it right there. Now, one of the things people tend to do with these dual axis, these combo charts, is they'll maybe make this one a running total, right? Though you don't have to, but you can. So say we wanted to do that for profit, I simply click here, quick table, running total. It is honestly that simple. It's super easy. So the idea being the line gives you a running total representation, and the bar gives you the value at that period, at that point in time. Now, to do a dual axis chart, you need, first of all, two sets of measures, as you can see up here, and you want to right-click the second one. So if I right-click that, you're going to see dual axis. If you right-click the first one, you're not going to see it there. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So right-click, dual axis, and you'll see what Tableau does. It will overlap it and even add color so there's some contrast. Now, a lot of people that I work with, a lot of people that I've seen do this, they kind of stop here. Now, you have to take it a little bit further when it comes to formatting and styling for a very important reason. This visualization is really easy to misinterpret because the blue, let me get my tool out. This running total, right, that you can see here, is actually represented by this axis, though you can't tell. So in some cases, they accidentally use this axis. And whenever you have a dual axis, you have a primary and secondary axis, and they don't always line up. So the way around this, if you don't want them to be synchronized, is you want to style the axis as the same color as whatever the visualization component is. So if I right click here, I'm going to go format, and we're going to switch this to blue. It's such a simple thing, and I usually bold it as well. And if I click out, oh, hang on, no. I did it in the wrong spot. It's this one here. So you just got to make sure you're set to axis. Okay, and then we're going to change this one. So we're going to go in here. We're going to set it to blue and bold. Okay, now that simple change, just the way the mind associates, knows that this axis is for the blue. And we're going to do the same thing for the other one. Format, and we're going to make this one orange and bold. And straight away, there's now no error in terms of no misinterpretation. The other thing that I like to change is when you have two sets of visualizations competing for attention, you do have to decide which one is more important. So let's say the line chart is what I want stakeholders to see first. That's the important thing. And the orange is more secondary information. I will blur the one in the back. So here for the bar chart, I'm going to go into color and I'm going to reduce the opacity. And when I do that, you'll notice something. The bars don't disappear. Your brain is really good at actually still seeing them. But what it does is it brings out the running total. Okay, so now the brain can focus, but it will still notice the bars if it needs that information. Okay, that's another bit. Now for running totals, I also tend to add the value here on the end. Okay, and the way we do that, the easiest way, is if we duplicate this running total and drop it into this label. The reason we duplicate is because we've applied some function onto this pill. If I do it from here, I have to apply all of that again. And sometimes we do a lot of things to a specific pill that is kind of on the fly. So I'm going to hold Control on the keyboard. I'm going to grab this one from up here and drop it into label. And when I do that, you're going to see the number for the whole thing. I'm not interested for all of it. I just want it on the line ends. Maybe I can show that. Okay, line ends. Okay, here we go. Now it's going to show the one at the beginning and the one at the top. That's completely fine. Okay, there you go. So we have some numbers there. Now the very last thing I'm going to do is get rid of these borders. So I'm going to right click, Format. A lot of times the borders are just completely useless and they really just detract from the visualization. So I'm going to go here to this border section. And the one we're going to adjust is this one, row divider, column divider. We're just going to turn those off. And what you'll notice is as soon as I turn them off, the visualization is jumping out at you. And that is the key when it comes to visualization, that we want the data to be the most important thing, not the borders or the lines or dark colors or anything like that. We want the information of what we're trying to say that is inside that will cause action, right? It will trigger someone to take action. All right, there you go. That is your combo chart. I hope you guys enjoyed. By the way, if you guys have questions or problems you're trying to work out and you can't quite get it, be sure to drop a comment describing it and I'm more than happy to make a video. By the way, I teach all of this stuff in detail on my website, Jellyman Education. I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you at the next video. Bye.